You got a great guest in studio here talking kind of year in review and a look ahead to 2018. Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. How you doing
I
there?
am well. How are you? Merry Christmas.
Fantastic. It's always great to be here in Mason County.
It's a beautiful part of the world
It
here as we
is.
get ready with Christmas and all the beautiful trees. I was following you guys on the Twitter, the Thurston County Commissioners.
Oh,
and
yeah.
over the last week or so, you guys have been out in the community a lot. So we'll kind of
Sure.
start with the most recent things and then just kind of look over the year. The
Let's do it.
distinction of Thurston County, Purple Heart County.
Yeah, we're super excited about that. And this spring, we did a proclamation to the veterans here in Thurston County and to the surrounding South County,
Sure.
South Sound. But Thurston County is now the first county in the state of Washington to be the Purple Heart County, and we welcome that very, very enthusiastically because the veterans and active duty service members and their families that serve, we just want to pay some sort of contribution to them and recognize them for their service and their dedication to keeping this country free and prosperous.
How do you get a distinction like that? I know if it's like a Tree City, USA, you have to
Yeah.
have a certain amount of trees or things like that.
Yeah, believe it or not, there is a small but very functional and active board for Purple Heart cities and counties, and it's an association that's here in Washington State. And so we just file with them, and they file it with the Veterans Administration and let that be known, and then sometimes the DoD portion, Department of Defense. And so we were at Rainier and City in southern part of Thurston County, and they are already a Purple Heart recipient city, and we just could not let that be. They were going to do it when we want to take it to a larger level as
Yeah.
far as the county-wide. And we encourage other counties, Mason County and Pierce County, Lewis County, to become Purple Heart counties also.
I'm just trying to think of all the other things that happened over the county. I got a note from my folks the other day. They went out to that new county park out Yelm way out in Yelm.
Yes, the
and they
Deschutes
said the
Park.
Deschutes Park. They said that's beautiful out
That's
there.
another thing we did this year, and we're super excited about that. That was 1992. It was closed for safety reasons and
Yeah.
other reasons. We finally got that open, found the funding for it, and this year we marked a grand opening. Had the Squaxin Tribe chair out there. We had a whole host of local citizens, and it was phenomenally a good day to be able to open that park up. And it's actually beautiful to be able to walk through there, and more so in the spring and summertime, but
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
opening
yeah.
in the wintertime, and it's just good to have things for people to go out and take the kids, the dogs, and what have you, and enjoy the natural resources we have here. Sure.
Senator Cantwell was in town the
Oh,
other day.
you
I
know
saw
that too. Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
follow along. I know what
see
you guys
that.
are up to.
Yeah. So, I do. I'm the chair of the Housing Action Team for Thurston Thrives, and that's one of my passions is to help with the housing and homeless, and we can talk about that all day long.
I
but
bet, yeah.
Senator Cantwell is pushing a bill through. She has for the last 3 years, but it survived the cuts under the Trump administration. This Senate Bill 548. What it is really it's good. It's a bipartisan bill, by the way. Orrin Hatch out of Utah is with it, sponsoring, and it gives tax credits for those who wish to build affordable housing or convert a building into a housing
Wow.
piece there. So it's only up to 9% of a tax credit, and there's some technical pieces with that, but nonetheless, it's really important to be able to give that incentivize that process for those who wish to push and delve into the affordable housing piece and build those houses for those who
There's
need
a
it.
lot of those houses and buildings that are coming up. I know in downtown Olympia, and then there's thoughts on the Isthmus project there. And
Yep,
I know
that's-
Mason County is in major need
Yep.
of affordable housing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's a big hole that we have here in the county.
I know. And then we try to help that with the Behavioral Health Organization.
Yeah.
And we can talk about that just for a second. That's been great. In March, you'll see the building here. I guess I forget what the name of the building is. 2 doors down, 3 doors down.
The old PUD
PUD
building.
mhm.
Yeah.
We'll start working on that, and by the summer you'll see that being converted into a triage center, and that's a wonderful thing for Mason County and the mobile crisis teams that come along with that. And it's not just not for the sheriff or the county law enforcement, but it's all for Shelton Police and for those who need that kind of behavioralist on the spot when a police officer is there. So
The other thing I want to talk about a little bit is the gopher and the
Yeah.
pocket gopher. And this has been, I mean, for years has been an issue in Thurston County and around the South Sound as people looking to build properties in the, big expansive portions of land, in South Thurston County, and these little Mazama pocket gophers have caused a bit of a mess in the works to build these things, and there had been a complete stop, and then it's starting to open up, and it seems like this year you guys have been able to really make some movement on this while protecting the environmental stuff, but still making sure that the people have their...
You're absolutely right. It has been a challenge, but it's been a good effort in terms of the two new county commissioners and myself to be able to work with the federal government on this, and exactly right, get the balance between environment and economy, because you're right, it did stymie the southern part of the county's economy for the longest time, almost kind of like an economic drought, if you will.
Yeah.
But we came back with a plan a couple times, and one of them we just recently did and was approved, and was to go from 3 inspections to 2 inspections. And that might not seem a lot for people, but each inspection costs 30 days in between. So when you lower the 30 days and it goes to 60, from 90 to 60, that's money and time and shovel in the ground ready for another house to be built, what have you. And so that's really a good effort there on each party's part. And this next year we have the facts and data to back it up, that we ask them to just do 1 inspection instead of 2, and so that's just what you do to show how the data works and the efforts on all parties to be able to have a compromise, if you will.
And the
There's a lot more to do, though, on that.
They're okay with maybe coming down. I mean, they got to the 60, and one more down at 30 or 45 days or something.
Yeah, and this is just the interim. This is not the actual plan. The actual plan is a separate item we work on, so that when we have a 30-year coverage, and then that we worked on a little bit yesterday, and we made headway, and we have to kind of repackage it and take it to the federal government and ask them where we can go with it at the beginning of the year, and we'll do that about the 3rd week of January, and that looks really promising.
What are some other things that Thurston and Mason County can look forward to working together with into 2018?
Well, we'll continue with the behavioral health organization. That is one of our passions there, to help mental health and substance abuse, especially when it comes to law enforcement. And hopefully it turns into a diversion program for those that do not have to go to what we call the big jail, and then be able to get back to their house or back to a functional life. The other thing that we're super excited about on the public health and social services for Thurston County will now extend its contract with what we call the Nurse Family Partnership, and that is a very good program here in Mason County, and we're going to boost it up a little bit. And the Nurse Family Partnership, commonly called NFP, is to single moms are pregnant and high risk at the point of conception to plus 2 years old. There's a nurse assigned to this, usually a young lady, but the mom, and they work through those issues so that child, when it's born, doesn't fall into a different way of life, a behavior life that would not be productive. And so it's not like when the mom is conceived, or say in the first, second trimester, there's a lot of time the nurse spends with it, but over a period of time, the nurse kind of weans herself away from it. So she's only visiting, say, once every 3 months, whereas early on there's once every week or once every day. And it's a super good program in the sense that it's cost savings, and I can run all day long about it. But when you look at the total cost, that child now has a way of moving through life with a good understanding not to go to jail, to stay in this school, and help mom be a good mom, keep her supported and stay on her feet throughout the younger years of the child. And that's what it was really about. No matter how she became pregnant, we don't look at that whatsoever. It's a baby that came into the world, and we really are super glad to be there with that kind of program from Mason County.
So much evidence on as early as possible to instill good values.
That's exactly
whether it's elementary education, preschool education, even birth through the first couple years there. If you can get the good information, the positive
role modeling
and steps,
and the behavior
from day one, dividends are way
out there, but they're very productive and very and so it's good. It's the best preventive program in the world. I tell you, I haven't seen that. I didn't see that in the military. When I came out of the military, this is one of passionate programs, and it works very well. And you just gotta do it, and you gotta be a part of it. And we're super excited to be able to help Mason County out. It's all about mamas and babies for us, and taking care of that. And when you get that, you have a good nucleus of a family. And when the family's good, then life is good, and your law enforcement doesn't have to worry so much, and your job rate is really good, because then everything's wholesome, so to speak.
Have you heard of those baby kits they send out in Norway? You've ever heard of those? I think it's like when the mom gets pregnant or something like that, they'll send out a box.
Oh, I
and
see.
basically in the box it's got diapers and some books and things like that. And they can use the box as the crib for a few months, and that is another thing that I've read seems to really help.
Well, I'll definitely
new
ask them if they do baby kits, but this is sort of a larger, bigger baby kit, if you will, program.
Very cool. 6:51, talking to Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake. Let's move over to Alabama.
There you go. I was hoping we could get
first
there.
Things first, whatever. They had their election the other day, and we don't want to get into that, but I do find it interesting that there is, I saw a law that they had in the books in Alabama. I think it came in last year, that if the write-in number of votes was more than the difference between the two candidates, that they would go and count the write-ins. They would read the names and write-ins, some 20,000 or whatever. So they're thinking that Nick Saban is going to get a pretty good share of those write-in votes, and may have caused that election there. I thought that was a pretty
Alabama logic
note.
and Alabama math doesn't always add up. Sometimes I'll just say it that way.
So what's going on with Alabama football? They even make it to a bowl game this year?
They will definitely make it to a bowl game, and it will be Clemson on 1st of January.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, sure.
And then so they lost to Auburn though in the Iron Bowl. That's gotta be tough.
Yes,
it does every so often.
But they're in there, and hopefully we'll come to a SEC championship with Georgia and Alabama. That would be kind of the clash of the Titans.
Yeah, it really would. That would be quite a matchup. So fun, good for you. Are you going to get a chance to head back south for holidays or anything?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. See if I can get down there and see my kinfolk and what have you, my parents, and enjoy a little bit of Alabama food, gumbo and what have you, jambalaya, and just catfish.
I'll share with you once we get off a recipe. I've already talked about it enough on the air. A recipe I did for Thanksgiving. It was basically like a cornbread corn pudding souffle.
Oh my gosh!
And it was the sweetest thing I'd ever tasted. It was really good.
Well, I might have to try some of that with some black eyed peas.
Oh, delicious. All right, Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake, it's good to see you. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and same to you.
And let's keep you coming back here into the new year, keeping up all the good information on what you're doing for the county and Thurston and Mason.